I think one of the most important things for a business is its customer base and listening to what they think about your products and services. In the past, that was done through a number of different ways, but a lot of times just kind of phoning their customers at home and listening to what they feel about their company. Well, there's a new way to do that, especially with the proliferation of the web and being able to engage customers. We've got Jason Smith from Vision Critical here today to explain how you guys help companies listen to their customers and actually talk back with them.
Yeah, Mike, thanks for having me. What we're seeing online right now, the whole Web 2.0 proliferation of the willingness to share, open collaboration, the idea that you can't buy a product right now without going to Amazon or Opinions and actually hearing what other customers have to say, the blogosphere where people are discussing all sorts of issues and a range of topics and people are debating that. What we liked about all of that was this massive discussion that's taking place. What we didn't like is we couldn't put it in a controlled environment and use it for research purposes and rely on it for strategic decisions. So Vision Critical, what we've done is say, let's take a private community, a private online community that we could use for research purposes, recruit a group of people in and talk to them, engage in dialogue, and it might be surveys, might be discussion forums, interactive research, but really learn about what their issues are, bring them on the inside of a company, and create a customer advisory community.
Well, it's kind of almost like in the old days sticking a bunch of people in a room and then asking them a bunch of questions, really.
It is, it is. In fact, in a lot of companies that we deal with, we tell them it's akin to having a room down the hall from their office with 5,000 of their best customers in it that they could open at any time, ask a question, get that feedback, take it back to their office, and iterate and plan their business decisions around some of that feedback.
Well, that's what I find really interesting about what you guys are doing. You know, we talked about that room down the hallway. I mean, you can't put 5,000 people in there. It's typically like maybe 5 or 10 people. But like you said with the internet, I mean, you're literally reaching out to thousands of customers, which I would think would make it more accurate as far as to what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, we're applying market research principles to it. Our CEO is Dr. Angus Reid. He's been in the business for 35 years. So what we do is we start by saying who should be in this panel, this advisory community. So it's not just random. We're very specifically selecting different groups. If Apple approaches us to build a panel, we might get a number of Apple enthusiasts, but we might get a number of people that aren't necessarily fond of Apple and recruit all sorts of people into this advisory panel that are representative of the different segments that they want to speak to so that they can actually really get the feedback that they need to run strategic decisions.
Well, you've got some demos here to kind of show what that all looks like.
Yeah, this is the type of thing you'd see. This is something that we did for Rogers Publishing, a new magazine that they have called Chocolat, that has a portal that they enter, and if you're not a member, you'd click Join Now, and you'd be able to review some of the pieces that would interest you in joining it. And then what we have respondents do is they go through and take a profiling questionnaire to see which segment they're going to fit in according to what Rogers Publishing is looking for. So it might be 10, 20, maybe upwards of 30 questions. That profiling questionnaire tends to be the lengthy one as part of the panel. But once they've joined, then you're participating with these people through other surveys, 5, 10 question surveys, maybe some interactive research. We've done some wild things like creating virtual Best Buys and virtual Walmarts where you can walk through and pick up items off shelf.
3D ones?
Full-on video game meets market research, yeah. Pick up objects, what are you picking up, what are you not, if we change the merchandising, if we change the product layout, if we change the pricing, does it impact what you do inside the store? So we've run the full range of kind of interactive research levels. And then on a more simplistic side, there's this piece here. This is a demo that we have for Panel Plus, which is actually the engine behind delivering all of this interactive.
This is what the company sees.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is on the company side, so they take a look at logging in here and developing surveys that are actually going to be fed back to these panelists. So this is the type of system that they've got. Well, I'm now actually showing here what the respondent sees. So here's one that we did for Bloomingdale's where you can log in. And then the Panel Plus system, like you're going to receive newsletters, you'll participate in these rich media kind of exercise, surveys, that kind of thing. And now we're getting into what the administrator does. So when they log into their tool, everything is done online. They can see what surveys that they're working on, surveys that are actually in field, and surveys that they have one-click access to the report.
So does it compile all that information?
It does.
Yeah.
It's an all-in-one system that runs from the survey creation to figuring out who you're going to send the survey to looking at all the reports, and then going up to the 50,000 foot level and saying, what's happening across my entire panel, across all the studies that I'm sending?
Super interesting. Obviously, big companies are using this quite successfully. Any tips for like small businesses trying to grow their business?
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, we've got, I mean, our showcase clients tend to be the big name clients, but we've got a number of small businesses that are using this as well, and it boils down to this. Everybody has a need to connect to their customers. Everybody has a need to understand what's making their customers tick. And instead of actually doing it in the traditional market research paradigm, where I'm going to poke and probe you to get some information, I'm going to walk away and make some decisions on that. Instead, let's sit down and do what you're doing right now, Mike. Let's have a conversation, and we'll do it all online. And every company can benefit from that. So if I'm a small company, what would I do? I'd figure out if I have a base of customers that I could recruit into an advisory panel and actually sit down and talk to them on a regular basis to keep them engaged in my brand.
Very cool. Jason Smith from Vision Critical, thanks for joining us today.
You're very welcome.